Hey guys, last month I told you about that crazy storm that I got caught in on the country roads back in upstate New York. Because of that experience, one of the things that I decided to do was to add some additional lighting to the front of my bike. Now, I have already swapped out my stock headlight for a custom Dynamics ProBEAM LED headlight with the auxiliary turn signals. That thing is amazing and is a massive improvement over the stock road glide headlight. I've also installed their LED vent inserts, LED windshield trim with sequential auxiliary turn signals, and of course, the ProBEAM LED turn signals themselves. Wow, that's already a ton of light getting thrown down the road. But given what I experienced that evening in upstate New York and that countryside, I decided that I wanted to add a set of fog, flood, spot, whatever you want to call them, lights into the mix. I looked around at all the options, but I kept coming back to the custom Dynamics ProBEAM Halo fog lamps. One of the reasons was because I have been extremely happy with the quality and design of the custom Dynamics products, along with their customer service and especially their warranty. All their stuff is super white, super bright, and they have that sleek, elegant design. So, the ProBEAM Halo fog lights are being installed today. The Halo fog lamps are plug and play, and they come with everything you need with the exception of a way to mount them. You need to figure out where and how you want to mount them, then order the appropriate mount to go with the lights. More on that in a bit. But out of the box, you get the set of lights, wiring harness, that also has an on-off switch, 2 mounting bolts, 2 sets of zip ties, 1 black, 1 chrome colored, and the instructions. These lights are nice, with a super nice finish, and they really have some heft to them. As with all custom Dynamics products, the design is sleek. It doesn't have any unnecessary gaudy elements or plastics. I was originally thinking about mounting these to my brake calipers, and Custom Dynamics does have a mount for that. The advantage to doing it that way is that the lights will project in the direction you have the front wheel turned. That's a really good idea, but you know, ultimately, I decided that I wanted to mount these on my engine guard. Maybe I'll remount them to the brake calipers later, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. To mount these on the engine guard, you also need to order these tube mounts. I'll add a link to these in the description below. Now I decided to mount these vertically on the engine guard rather than horizontally. And if you look at the light, you'll see that the rectangular lighting element in the middle is installed for horizontal mounting. So we need to rotate that for vertical mounting. To do that, put on a pair of gloves so that you don't get oil from your fingers on the lighting elements. Rotate the bezel counterclockwise to remove it from the light housing. Make sure you get the lens and gaskets off as well. Now that you have the halo and optics exposed, grab the optics and lift them out. Push the optics out from the halo, then rotate the optics 90 degrees counterclockwise until it is lined up with the notches in the housing. Reseat the optics and push the halo into place. Make sure everything is fully seated and the halo is flush with the housing. Now we want to put the bezel with the gaskets and the lens back onto the housing and make sure that it's tightened down and make sure it's super tight. Cool. With that done to the lights, it's time to get these bad boys installed. Okay, the lights are on. I think they look pretty darn good. Before we get too far into this, just first let me say that these lights are intended to be mounted either horizontally coming off the side of the engine guard or vertically from the bottom. Now with a chopped engine guard, that bottom piece is all angled, it's not flat, so you can't come up and get a straight mount on the lights. So what I did was I mounted them from the top coming down, which is something that Custom Dynamics does not recommend you do. And they don't recommend you do that because there is a little recess where the light cable goes into the housing, and if that's on the top, even though there's a rubber like gasket or flange around that wiring where it goes in, there's still a chance that you could get some water in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and fix that using some Sugru. I'm gonna take some Sugru and put it in this little recess around the housing. So that should prevent any water from coming in there. The other thing that I'm going to address here is mounting them upside down. You can see the bolt on the top. Yeah, you know, it's okay, but I want to clean that up a little bit. So I ordered some little acorn caps that I'm going to screw on the top of these bolts so that it looks a little more finished. When I get back from this next trip, I'm probably going to order some taller acorn caps. Then I can remove that nut that's there with the install. But for now, this is fine. I think it looks good enough. And again, I'm not telling anybody to mount their lights this way. I'm not going to be responsible if you mount them upside down and you get water somehow into the housing. But you know, this is what I'm doing. So let's take a look at the lights after I turn them on. Wow, that's a ton of light. Now, the fog lights themselves are not, the centerpiece is not turned on. What you're seeing right now is just the halo ring. So in running light mode, those halos are on, but the centerpiece, the main light, is turned off. So I'm gonna reach down here onto the little switch that I installed and turn the lights on, and we'll see what they look like. Wow. That's from the backside looking out, that's incredible. That's a lot of light that's coming off the front of the bike now for sure. And this is where the little switch I was talking about, this is the on-off switch where this is mounted. I didn't do a video for the install, so let me just run through quickly on the wiring on this. The wires are actually, let me turn the bike off. The wires are actually zip tied running along the bottom of the engine guard up through the top, and then they run underneath the tank down the spine of the bike into where I have all the wiring harnesses and everything hooked up. My bike is cleaned up. I decided not to shoot how to hook up the wiring harness here because I have a lot of stuff, even though you can't see it here because it's all underneath. I have a lot of stuff connected here. I have a lot of different lights and some modules, so unless you have my setup, it's not going to do you any good. Just go ahead and take a look at the instructions to see where to put that wiring harness into place and plug the lights in. Clean it all up. The power comes off of the battery itself, so you'll need to install that. And then again, I just put the little switch here. What I've heard is that this cable on the switch is not long enough to reach all the way back up to the front. This made the most sense to me. So that's where I have mine. Oh well, you know what they say about the best laid plans. I'd originally wanted to take the bike out tonight, go for a little bit of a ride and show you how the lights lit up the road, how much coverage I was getting. Unfortunately, we had a big storm move in and it was pretty bad. And by the time it cleared out just a few minutes ago, I've got to get the bike packed because I'm leaving on a trip. So what I'm going to do is show the lights going outside the garage and see if we can kind of get some idea of how well the lights cover the darkness. So let's take a look real quick. I don't know if this test is going to do any good or not, but let's take a look. So I'm going to turn the lights on here real quick. That's the halo from the fog lamps, the headlight, and all the other stuff I've got on the front of the bike. So now we're going to go, and I'm going to flip the switch on the floodlights. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's actually, that's a lot more coverage. I don't know if that's coming out in the video or not, but you take the camera out here. Let's see, the bike is inside the garage a little bit, but you can see the pattern is it's pretty darn good. Well, there you go. I'm really happy with the lights. They look amazing on the bike, and I think that it's going to give me a lot more coverage than what I had before. So the next time I'm caught out on one of those country roads in upstate New York or elsewhere, I'll have a little bit of an easier time navigating the road in the darkness. I got to hit the road, got to get the bike picked up, got to get the bike packed up and hit the road. I got a feeling it's going to be raining the first 2 days. Go figure. You guys take care. I'll see you from somewhere across the U.S. on the third leg of the Love and Gratitude Tour over the next 5 weeks. Peace.